Hey guys, just wanted to give a quick review for the new Velocity 1 flight yoke that Turtle Beach has put out for the Xbox series, and I've had it for a few days now, so just thought I would give you my early impressions of how the flight yoke is holding up with Microsoft Flight Simulator. It comes in two sections. We have here a throttle quadrant which slots nicely into the side of the yoke there and is connected by one USB-C. It has the standard throttle, propeller and mixture simulated cable type levers that a standard Cessna would have, as well as the thrust levers and flap levers of your more traditional Airbus type controls, as well as a trim wheel. The trim wheel is fantastic, by the way, but more on that soon. There's several hat switches and analog sticks, which is great for free looking, and there's even a display on the actual yoke where you can go through a series of menus to adjust any of the settings to your heart's content. You can also go through a training mode on the yoke, which shows any button or axis input you use and tells you what that is assigned to in the simulator, which is quite handy if you get a little confused with the myriad of buttons there are. It's easy to forget which one you have assigned to which. So using this training feature is a great addition. There is backlighting on the SIP panel, which unfortunately does not work with the Xbox but does with the PC. However, the lighting and LED effects do work with the Xbox, and you can change those colours and brightness levels. It's got a nice rotation as well, with 180 degrees of movement. It feels good in the hands. It is obviously plastic, so it doesn't quite have the rubber feel of the honeycomb, but it doesn't feel like a cheap plastic. It feels well made and sturdy. It also clamps to the desk very easily via the top hatch. So what I'll do is I'll just jump into a flight and just show you some of the combinations I've set up on my yoke. I have the left analog stick set up as the preset cameras, and the right one as the free look. I will say that the right analog stick probably would have been better if it was a more traditional smooth analog stick. It still has that hat switch feel about it, but it's fine, it still works well. I've adjusted my height there. I've set that to the right hat switch, and the left hat switch up and down I've configured for zoom in and out. So here we are at Taieri Airport, South Island, about ready to take off and head over to Mosgiel. So the throttle adjustment here, it's fantastic, just the way it slides in and out. It does have a little bit of stickiness, which is good. It's not too loose, so it feels like you're really pushing something, not super hard, but it feels good. So we'll get some flaps happening here for takeoff. Set about 10 degrees or so, should be enough. I have also set up some of the light settings on this panel here. I haven't quite configured them all to work perfectly, unfortunately, but all the exterior ones work really well, and the cabin lights do also work. So let's give this thing a bit of juice and let's head down the runway. So I'm just applying a little bit of upward pressure and pulling back to myself. this is a known problem with this yoke, is it does have a little bit of stickiness when it comes to going in and out with the pitch. But it's really only just a small little gripe, and from what Turtle Beach has said, it's going to get better with time and use. So in fact, just by lifting my arms up slightly, it's not an issue at all. So I just have to slightly adjust my elbows when I want to do pitch up and down, until that eases in a little bit. But I'm nitpicking because this is really a fantastic yoke, and the throttle quadrant is really fantastic. It may not be quite as flash and as premium as the Honeycomb Bravo quadrant, which I have also used extensively, but I do like the fact that you can have general aircraft controls and also the commercial ones without having to switch the caps over of the levers, and it is very customizable. In fact, more so I would imagine than the Honeycomb was. A Honeycomb seemed to have conflicts quite often. So far I've had no conflicts with this. It's been very easy to configure. Even on the Xbox here, just using a mouse and keyboard, it's been a breeze. So I would have to say that my early impressions are very favourable, and I can highly recommend this if you can get a good deal. But if you were to see this on sale for even $50 off, I would jump at this, as it really is all you need to have full control of all the functions that you need, and then some. I'm primarily flying general aircraft, but I can imagine if you were into the commercial aircraft, then you would probably be well served with this unit as well, as there are so many different buttons that you can easily assign to anything you like. Not to mention that you still have keyboard and mouse support. So I have a keyboard, as you can see in the corner there, and I can easily assign many other switches to any button I want on the keyboard, and it works fine with the Xbox. This is running on the Series S, which is a powerful little beast for such a tiny little wee machine. I can highly recommend the Series S version of Microsoft Flight Simulator. It runs at 120 Hz at 1080p, which is really absolutely all you need. The Series S runs HDR, high dynamic range, and it really does look mind-blowing. The sunset or sunrise, the colours are just amazing, and having this yoke just makes everything much more enjoyable. So if you're on the fence, just get one. It's the best you'll get on the Xbox at this point in time, until Honeycomb releases an Xbox version. But I can imagine the price would be pretty steep compared to what we have here. So overall, this gets 2 thumbs up from me. Enjoy the rest of the video as we head into Moz Hill. And thanks again for watching.